Hope. People need hope. They need someone to look up to. They need someone good. They need a hero. Before we get into this, there are no spoilers, and we're going to be talking more about the promotional mess and how it amplified people's doubts, and what has caused people to be such skeptics of both DC and Marvel in recent years. What this won't be about is talking about whether Super Gunman is terrible or amazing. This is one place I won't call you the names for loving and hating something. I approve of you coming to your own conclusions. I know. What a brave and controversial take. Leave your admonishments below. I apologize for absolutely nothing. Now, the last time WB tried this, we got Watchman of Steel, a dark, serious envisioning of DC. Truth, justice, and the partisanship. What was the third thing? You have everyone doing these media packets and interviews, dancing around it, refusing to say it, calling out people for being mean. In the same sentence you're attacking them, you think you're clever, nobody will notice, and you're still insulting the intelligence of your audience. How has that been working for you? People are reasonable to question why. Yet again, the film developers are trying to mire this in their politics. WB, you're still not taking this situation seriously. Record layoffs, franchises crashing, just spent a decade completely failing to go toe-to-toe with Marvel. So why are you putting your biggest shot at revival at so much risk by, once again, antagonizing potential buyers of your product? Let's spend the entire promotional period casting every possible doubt on Superman. Show him as weak, angry, overshadowed by others, replaced in his roles, at odds with Lois Lane, throwing tantrums, constantly beat up and crying. It's a surefire win after all. Everyone will show up for Superman. There's no reasonable suspicions that you are planning the 100th superhero rug pull in a row, and that rural boy that represents everything good, let's lace him with cynicism and subvert expectations. Right, guys? You want more subverted heroes? What country is he a rural boy in again? Oh, we can't say. The cult of tolerance will have us excommunicated if we mention that country, unless it comes with a preceding death too. We're not taking this situation seriously. Here, have a dog. Baby Yoda saves Star Wars. He'll definitely keep putting butts in seats past his first appearance. Truth, justice, and the some other things. The fans adore being villainized for wanting heroes to be heroes. They love being the ego toy for corporate Hollywood, the least heroic people in the world being morality's arbiters. Truth, justice, and the missing fan base? You need to keep taking this seriously, Mr. Gunn. Is always darkest before the dawn, and there is so much darkness about comic books these days. Here's what Superman needs to do indisputably. You need to get people back on board a ship you already sank. Long-term fans of these franchises, no matter how bad things get, are always looking for a spark of hope, for a glimmer that you are going to return these things that some of them have loved for decades to their peaks. Despite a lot of nerddom's insistence, they are done for good due to the insidious deconstructions of everything that fans love over the years. They want you to succeed. More accurately, they want you to choose to succeed. DC and Marvel have spent years snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Despite better creatives having written the perfect roadmap to success for almost a century, you keep looking at what you know fans want and rejecting it. Well, you look at what the fans openly have made it very clear they will reject, then shame them into liking it by using your favorite sword and shield, identity politics. You have the fans that still have a spark of hope. They're begging you to wake up. They want you to succeed, and they want you to show you're serious about having fun. But hope does not last forever. You have the fans whose hope you've already crashed in on and brutalized. Snyderverse fans that are jaded by corporate meddling. You have fostered in them a grudge, and they are eager to compare and denigrate your work compared to what they had. Next, you have the long-term superhero fans, who you spent a decade calling incels and bigots. Their hope is your hubris will put you out of work. And this is not something that's built out of their toxicity. This is reciprocity you cultivated intentionally over time out of your toxicity. You choose to be the villain, and you get what you deserve. But there is something out there that is worse than anger and hatred. There is a group out there that your movie will either sink or swim by. And this is the growing fan base. The fan base that no longer cares at all. They have zero hope, and so they have given up. They have left. And they don't believe you will ever treat their beloved franchises right again. So congratulations, Hollywood. You have brought the fan base for both Marvel and DC alike to their darkest day. And this is not unique to film. This is why this hurts so much, and this is why this is so difficult to overcome. Anime, tabletop, video games, comics, fans are universally jaded due to the hostile, malicious takeover by Hollywood, corporations, entertainment industry orbiters, spreading your preachy, weird gospel to an unwilling masses that really just wanted to have fun and fan service. You were overcome by arrogance. You thought that the hardworking people who struggle to make ends meet wanted to be lectured by celebrity cultists who are currently breathing a sigh of relief that certain lists with their names all over them have mysteriously vanished. Celebrities, your only purpose is to be a dancing monkey. And that is not to denigrate the jester, no. The jester is one of society's most valuable players, and the world was your stage. But when the world was laid low in 2020, we needed a Hollywood Superman, not to fight aliens or giant monsters, but to take your heads out of each other's asses, not judging, and distract people from the most soul-crushing event in multiple generations. Battling stress and loneliness was the first act of actual good and virtue that you Hollywood celebrities were actually equipped to do. And you could have done so for the locked up, afraid people around the world. You had a captive audience. Celebrities, you could have done good. But let's be honest, doing good is not what you celebrities do. You value the virtue signal, not the virtue itself. But celebrities, even if doing good would burn you like the sun or sanctified silver, you could have still done well. The virus was the perfect chance to turn your own industry's faltering fortunes around, to save the jobs of millions of entertainment workers, and look virtuous in the process. Instead, you gave the worst 5 years of movies and television in a century. You were given a chance of redemption, to be the heroes peoples needed and deserved. Yet while you were telling everyone to keep their masks on, you decided it was time to go full mask off on just how much disdain you hold for the peasantry out there. A jester cannot fix the world, but he can give hope long enough for the people who can. And here you are, unable to say truth, justice, and the globalist way, world way, human way. There is a confluence of fans who hate what DC has become, who mourn the Snyderverse, who lost all interest, or who are even rooting for your failure. And after a decade of everything being a self-aggrandizing ego project, this is the reboot that makes or breaks your Gunniverse. And you cannot even say truth, justice, and the American way, which has represented Superman since the 1940s, since World War II. We are not getting Superman, we are getting James Gunn Superman. Superman is an American Midwest Smallville, Kansas boy raised by simple but good, kind, hardworking farmers, taught the best values that America has to offer, the last son of Krypton. People see you remove the American way and they question it because you taught people to question these things through extremist activism. Hollywood and the games industry have ruined every major franchise due to fixing problematic elements. Because Superman being American is something you consider problematic. And the audience that loves that franchise, problematic. This taints the story and character, and not just for American audiences. It might blow your mind, but there are people who love Captain America who do not live in the US. I know it's a big shock. When you remove core features of a story or character, it diminishes who they are. Consider some examples. Have you heard of Black Myth Wukong? One of the best representations of Chinese culture we've gotten in years. Yet, it manages to be popular for a global audience. Japan's Godzilla Minus One is a story born from a very specific national experience that Japanese people shared after the war, making Godzilla a distinctly Japanese kaiju. But I'm gonna blow your mind here. You do not have to be from China or Japan, or even have the slightest lick of modern political knowledge of these places, to love Wukong or Godzilla. The phrase that represents Spider-Man is not, "With great power comes mild repercussions." Black Panther is not going to be saying "humanity forever," because nationalist ethnostates are sometimes a bad thing. How about having a corruption-free Gotham City, since it's bad to undermine the authority of government officials who are always right? Hollywood deconstruction and self-loathing, that works for miserable drama art films that win awards at the Oscars from their only target audience, and even those people refuse to watch these movies. It doesn't work for heroism or fun. When you call something people love problematic, that calls the people who love that thing problematic too. And fans are well past the patience limit on mean-spirited, wealthy corporate celebrities. This is no longer subverting expectations. This is the expectations. You've taken decades of positivity and fun and subverted them in the exact same way over and over and over. Let's just do a short list to show what subversion looks like. Avatar, not the blue ones. Fun, bright comedy with epic storytelling. Incorporates storytelling based on multiple cultures and religions, such as Buddhism and Taoism. Korra, narrow storytelling. Self-reflection. Everyone is unpleasant and dire, stripped of culture, deconstructs original show's values. He-Man and the Masters of the Universe gave us a fun, masculine, simple fight of good versus evil, straightforward moral lessons, and chivalry. Modern She-Ra gave us miserable, unpleasant characters, anti-masculinity, zero fun. Silent Bob's He-Man, miserable, man-hating subversion that desecrates every character and is full of unpleasant characters and deconstructs all the heroes. Lord of the Rings, epic tale of heroism, masculine role models fight the ultimate evil, the nature of man and fear, the easy path to power, and keeping hope alive. Rings of Power, egotistical feminist denies her fate because she feels she is destined for grandness. She kickstarts the ultimate evil because shippers wanted Galadriel x Sauron for some reason. Orcs are now misunderstood innocents, not a single role model in sight. Star Wars, epic tale of heroism, the light side versus the dark side, the story of how Luke Skywalker becomes the Superman of the Jedi world, the ideal not in just ability and skill, but in morality and purity, characters who overcome their darkness to become better people. Sequel trilogy, Luke tries to kill his own nephew because of a bad dream. Han completely regresses backwards out of his own hero's journey, and rather than having to learn lessons about facing her own darkness and training to become a Jedi, the Rey story is caught between story A, where even a nobody like her can become a Jedi, or story B, she was born the most powerful Jedi ever because lol, Papa Palpatine. G.I. Joe, fun, heroic, and patriotic story of heroes taking out a criminal organization bent on destroying the free world. Reboots are in the talks. G.I. Joe, a real American hero. James Gunn's G.I. Joe, that won't be about a real American hero. If there is still a patriot on the team, he will be deconstructed. There will be no masculine 80s action heroes. Instead, you'll get what Hollywood calls non-problematic masculinity. Yeah, don't really want to be lectured on masculinity by the people who covered up Weinstein and Crosby for decades. And we could list another 100 massive franchises that were popular with men for decades, and you would see this exact same pattern repeat over and over. Reduced masculinity, reduced culture, religion, patriotism, removal of universal values, heroic models are warped to fit narrow politics, feminine heroines are androgenized, and most of all, a complete removal of fun and heroism. In its place, we have unpleasant personalities, deconstructing heroes and role models, uplifting villains to misunderstood victims of structural, systematic, blah blah blah, modern gobbledygook. This collusion has all of the central values of decades-old franchises warped and reversed, resulting in rapid ruination. Because they identify more with the villains and they hate the heroes. And this all happened at the exact same time. The best Superman we've had in the last decade is All Might from My Hero Academia. He captures what Superman should be in a perfect manner. When he shows up with his huge smile, the people know they are saved no matter how bad things are. All the heroes around them surge with motivations, and all the villains take a step back. The way All Might influences by his mere appearance, the three groups, heroes, villains, and innocents, these are not necessary for every single hero to encapsulate. However, there is an exception. This is necessary for the superhero. All Might does not need to tell everyone to keep their eyes on him. He just shows up and says 3 words. I am here. Was it really too much to ask for you to just make a Superman movie where the only dialogue will be about the movie itself? This, more than anything, is what fans want. Entertainment without judgmental moralism. DC is putting so much effort into chipping away at its unwanted fan bases, whether that's long-term comic book fans, Snyderverse fans, fans of Superman being truth, justice, and the American way, as he has been for almost a century, the tendency for Hollywood, the video games industry, comic books, and more to say, we do not need that part of the fan base. That's caused a death by 1,000 cuts. And now every single entertainment industry is seeing record high layoffs because actively trying to get fans to leave eventually works. A single Japanese manga can outsell the entire Western comics books industry combined. My Hero Academia blows away any American comic as a boys manga that also appeals to girls. Because morons in the comic book industry, listen up. You do not have to kill your current audience to appeal beyond it. You do not have to. You chose to. A Japanese manga has its biggest superhero throwing out attacks like United States of Smash. Mr. Gunn, the reason you are removing the American way from Superman has nothing to do with global audiences. And everyone knows this. It entirely has to do with the people in your own walled-off, gated, rich community who would crucify you if you kept it in. I'm sure this movie will be great, people will love it, it'll make a lot of money, but if you want to subvert some expectations, make Superman universally inspirational. And prove that this promotional cycle was just a massive reverse catfish. So like and subscribe and leave a comment. Does this excite you for a DCU reboot? Does this bring people who are jaded back to comic movies? Does this win over Snyderverse fans? Did the marketing change your mind on watching the movie? And if you have seen it, did it do the movie justice? Good or bad, does 2025 Superman change your level of hype for the Gunniverse? And how does it make you feel about next year's Supergirl?